instructions, these actually came from Teagle 6-17 that we mentioned earlier that was issued recently. So the same process will occur as did previously. The states must utilize the online portal hosted by DOL and the Department of Education. So everything that we write about will go into a portal. We may modify existing text. We also have the ability to delete text. As I mentioned earlier, DOL said that information regarding performance measures or guidance regarding performance measures is forthcoming. The submission date was confirmed as March 15th, 2018, and that is how the work group structured the work plan and the timeline, so we did not have to make any adjustments there. And then all departments at the federal level who are involved with the Unified State Plan will review and provide a decision within 90 days of submission. Up on the screen, I have the timeline for February, starting with where we're at today. Tomorrow, the draft updates of the operational elements of the plan are due. And then we will wrap those up towards the end of the month with information being due on the 23rd. The WIOA will have an executive committee briefing on the 26th. And then partner-specific sections, so these actually are very siloed sections. Each of the titles has elements in the ICR that they must respond to. Those are due to us by the 28th. For March, we're going to have part 3, so the last webinar of this series, and that will provide an up-to-date briefing of plan modifications, including what information was added to the operational elements. And then this is kind of the home stretch where everything backs into March 15th. So on the 2nd, a draft will be reviewed for compliance, consistency, and accuracy. The final draft will be wrapped up on the 5th and sent to the IWIB. The 5th through the 11th, the document will be open for public comment. There will be a call to review public comments received. And the plan will be considered complete and started to be entered into the federal portal on the 14th and 15th. And we will hit the submit button on the 15th.
Yeah, and key to note there for the board members is that unfortunately the date they gave us, we were hoping it might be the end of the month. As it ended up being back in 2016, so that when you see it, you could have seen it at your board meeting that is occurring on the 15th of March, and really have a little bit longer discussion on it. But since the submission has to occur on the 15th, and really with the breadth and length of this document, it has to start being entered into the system on the 14th. As Christy mentioned, you'll get that document as soon as we can give you a final draft, hopefully by the 5th at the very latest of March, and give you a few days to take a look at that and provide any comments that you might have. I know it's a really short amount of time, but unfortunately the submission dates and the timeline here is very aggressive, and there aren't there isn't much leeway to providing additional time. So we do ask as we continue through, and that's why we're utilizing these webinars as another method to inform you of the changes. We ask that you be prepared to receive those. I sent out today those strategic elements for your review with a due date for those. We'll send out those operational elements when they're complete and organized, so that you have a few days for those. And then hopefully by the time the 5th comes around and we have a full final document, you've already made your comments and asked your questions necessary for us to make any final revisions. So keep in mind that we're doing the best we can to get you the information in the amount of time, the timeline we have presented to us. So we just ask that you look at these in that time frame and provide any comments as necessary.
This is just a reminder slide of our final webinar of the series. It'll be on March 1st. The time and the webinar link and phone number are on the slide. just a reminder that as soon as we wrap up the modification, it's really time to get started on working on a new 4-year unified state plan. We anticipate, based on statute and regulations, for the due date of that to be March 3rd of 2020. It'll be a plan with a 4-year shelf life, so it will run from 2020 to 2024. And if you ever have any questions, wanted to make sure you have my contact information and Mark's contact information, please feel free to reach out to us. We've been very engaged with the plan and feel confident that we can answer any question, or we can reach out to any of the required partners to get you an answer.
Yeah, one last comment. When you see the revisions in those documents, we utilize track changes so that you can see what was added, deleted, or modified. You'll note that we had a lot of great help from our partners, and Christy Jones has done all of the input of the board sections into that document. So if you were trying to find my name throughout that to say what changes were made as part of the board's submission information, look for Christy Jones's name on there, and that is what has been prepared on behalf of the board, the executive committee, and the evaluation and accountability committee. And that'll be the same when we do the operational elements. We'll, again, utilize the track changes so that you can see where the new information is at. Christy, I appreciate your help today. If there are no further questions, we appreciate your time. We look forward to your comments of the strategic elements in the next few days as board members. We also look forward to presenting the operational elements and the highlights of those and significant information at the March 1st webinar upcoming. Hopefully you'll be able to join us for that. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either Christy or myself. Thank you very much.